Good. We are live. Okay, perfect. Hello, everybody. My name is Jane Havens. I'm the owner and founder of Center for Pediatric Sleep Management. I am here today with one of my all-time faves, Allison Henderson. Allison is a business coach and also like a mindset guru. I don't know if she would call herself that, but that's what I'm going to call her. Allison, why don't you take 3 seconds and introduce yourself before we get started?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, Jane. I am Allison Henderson. I am a social media business coach. So I help mompreneurs learn how to use this whole wonderful world of social media to actually build their businesses online. And so, yeah, I've been helping sleep consultants, doulas, life coaches, relationship coaches, all the above to really go above and beyond and create wealth and impact in this world. So thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And so the reason I reached out to Allison to come and chat with us in becoming a sleep consultant is because I have been getting her daily emails. I asked her before this, and now my mind already went blank. I've been calling them like little nuggets of amazingness. But Allison, what are they actually called?
I literally just kept it simple and said morning biz motivation.
Okay, it's morning biz motivation. All right, I should have written that down. So, every morning or most mornings, I get an email from Allison with like a little 3-minute voice clip of Allison getting me off on the right foot for the day. And I absolutely love them. And it's a great way to start the day. And she just has these tiny little nuggets to share that really get you on the right foot for getting your day going and being productive and having your brain in the right place. So I thought we could talk about that. I guess I'll ask you, like, what prompted you to start this? And what is, like, I guess, your favorite message that you've shared so far since you've started this?
Yeah. Well, I started this because, like you said, it's like mindset is one of the biggest components of if you're going to succeed or not, right? And there's some mornings you just wake up and you're like, what do I do today? What am I going to do today? And like, if we don't start our morning with like like ready to go, like I'm super energetic, you know what I mean? So I wake up and I have a plan for my day, right? There's some people that are still at that point in their business, if you just started, where it's like, I don't feel like it. I'm like, or I'm just like, my mindset's just not right today. I'm anxious. I'm stressed. I wake up, maybe it's a little bit more chaotic in certain people's households. And I just wanted to put some pep back in people's steps, right? Like, hey, everything's going to be okay. Like trust and all that sort of stuff. Right. And so, I just wanted to create it almost like for myself, because I know I need that every so often. And so this is what kind of prompted me too, is well over a year ago, maybe even 2 years ago, I started following a coach I just loved, super energetic. And I got access to this thing that she did where it was just 365 days of videos and audios, and they're short and sweet. And it was dripped every day. Okay. So I got full access to the course. So I was like, I had 365 things that I could go through. And every so often when I was just feeling like blah, like, what am I going to do today? Blah, like I was saying earlier, like, I'm all over the place. I'm stressed. Like I would go and just listen to a few of her videos. And it was just like, oh my God, thank you. It was like, so just refreshing. And it just made me feel better about life. So I was like, I want to start doing this. And eventually I would love to have a podcast. So this is kind of my little like introduction to some of that. Is like, can I record these and not mess up 100 times? And so literally it's one take, and I'm like, hey everyone, like this is my little tidbit of info that I want to share with you today. And I literally you should see these notebooks I have of just content ideas. And so I literally just go through and I'm like, oh, this would be a great thing for me just to talk about for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or 5 minutes today. And yeah, just, I want to be that person for people. It's like, if I don't feel good, I want to go to Allison. I want that to be that coach for women out there. So yeah.
I feel like you're that person for me. Whenever I feel slumpy or lacking the right energy, I always like head over to your Instagram and channel your cheer and your vibe, because I think it's really important. And it's important to have people in your corner that are striving for big things, right? Because that helps us to really like get those wheels turning and going, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the things that you hear from your coachees, right? Like the people that take your program, what are some things that you hear from them that they struggle with from a mindset perspective? I'm happy to share mine, but I'd love to
Yeah.
hear what the people in your program tend to say.
Yeah. Well, clearly there's a lot of imposter syndrome. Like when you claim to be an expert in something, or like, hey, I know I have all this knowledge, but it's like, oh, but am I an expert? Like, so imposter syndrome is probably one of the biggest things that people talk about. And when I have everybody fill out an intake form, and I'm like, so what do you feel like is stopping you from succeeding realistically, right? And it's everyone's like, I'm either certified in something or I'm not certified in something, but like, yet I have all this experience and knowledge. I just have a ton of imposter syndrome to really come out on social media and say, hey, I'm an expert at this, I share with you my offer, like buy it, right? Like so many people are just so afraid to take that next step and say, buy now, or I want to sell this and I'm an expert, so this is why you should buy it, and all that sort of stuff. Like that is probably the number one.
Yeah. Do you,
And
hold
then,
on, can I interject for a second?
yeah,
Do you
please.
think that imposter syndrome and fear of failure are intertwined? Because I think that they can be. I think that we are partially afraid to position ourselves as experts,
Mhm.
but then really like the underlying feeling, if we
Emotion, yeah.
really dig, if the underlying emotion, if we really dig deeper, is that like we don't want to put ourselves out there to fail,
Yeah.
right? Or maybe I'm just like projecting my own
Right.
things
No,
that
I
go
think you're
through my
right.
mind.
Yeah.
But I think we're all afraid. It's very scary to position yourself as an expert. That feels overwhelming. But then I think sometimes we can get over that. But then what if we actually do it and fail? And that feels
Yeah.
really scary.
Well, this is the thing. Failure could happen, right? And that's the thing. I guess I don't want to say failure. It's like you're not going to fail at anything. You're just going to quit at some point. You're going to sit there and go, I don't want to do this anymore because I don't feel good doing it anymore. So that's really the only way to truly fail, is to really just stop trying. The likelihood of your business totally not succeeding is literally just you giving up, you know what I mean? And not sharing and not doing anything. I'm a big firm believer. If you really stay consistent for 6 months, a year, 2 years, it's nearly impossible for your business not to succeed. But if you're like, hey, I post once a week, I don't talk about what I do to anybody, nobody knows who I am. Like, well, okay, that's a little different. Like then we need to talk about just an actual strategy for you to build your business. But yeah, like, so your fear of failure, usually this is the one thing I'm always like, who are you afraid to fail for? Who are you afraid to fail in front of? Who is it? Right? It's usually just a friend or a family member or your husband or like your mother-in-law or something like that. It has nothing to really do with like everybody. You know what I mean? It's you have a judgment that you have somebody's fear of judgment. Somebody.
Yes.
So,
Yes. All
okay,
right.
if I
Now
start
we're
this
unpacking
business,
this. Yeah, exactly. Now we're
yeah,
unpacking this. Yeah.
yes,
You're afraid of not, yeah, it's not, you're right. It's not failure because like only you get to decide
yeah,
if you've truly failed. Because if you, right, like if something doesn't work out, then you just try again or you try something else and you keep working at it. And then it's not failure, right? It's only
yeah,
failure when you give up. I love
yeah,
that.
completely give up. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
totally true. And yeah, like we are all afraid of failing in front of somebody. Um and
So when
yeah,
I go,
that
who is it? Who's the one person? And usually they have it's usually one person. That's it. So if we can unpack that a little bit, right? Well, and in one of my programs, we found the person. I was like, who is it? And she said it out loud. And I was like, cool, go unfollow her or block her from everything so you can fully show up in your business and for yourself. If you are afraid to be who you truly are in this world and in this lifetime, like, and it's because of one person, like that to me is like, okay, no, we gotta move past this and like fast. Like, so the
yeah.
sooner that you can literally just, like I said, if it's a blocking the person, whatever that is for you, the sooner you're just going to come out of this expansive and you're going to really be able to be yourself and you're going to confidently want to show up, and you will show up way more consistently because that person's not going to be in the back of your mind anymore.
Yeah. What do you think about people who are already successful,
Mm.
people who already have successful careers,
Mhm.
but they don't feel done yet? Like they don't feel completely either fulfilled or at the top or and it's less about like financial gain and more just about, I always talk about like there's there's financial growth and then also personal growth, right? And even someone who's really like made it or doing well in their career, there's still, I think, always room for growth.
Yeah.
What about those people that already have some level of success
Yeah.
and they have confidence, but then I think there's still a lot of fear in that category because you don't want to mess up a good thing or you don't want to pivot because what you're doing is working, right? What about that?
Well, every person is going to be extremely I guess for me it's like, okay, what's really motivating you? What is keeping you fulfilled? What is your passions, right? I am one of those people, I'm like, follow your highest form of excitement always, right? So if your job is not that anymore, and sometimes we get blah, like we just start feeling like I'm just kind of bored. So create different positions for yourself, or I don't want to say add on more duties for you, but like there's certain things in your career where if you just asked your manager or asked your boss, like, hey, I'm feeling a little bored. Like, is there something else I could do? I want to make a bigger impact here, or whatever it is, if it's an actual job. Like, what more can I do to help this company grow and bring this up to its highest form of, their highest potential? So like, there's things that you can do, but sometimes we're so afraid to just take that next step and ask.
So I think when people work in
Mhm.
like traditional jobs, that
Yeah.
feels easier because
Yeah.
we all are conditioned to like climb the ladder, at least
Yeah.
in a more corporate environment.
Yeah.
But for those who are working in a more like entrepreneurial
Yeah.
space where you're just
Mhm.
sort of like, I'm just working, I'm here by
Yeah.
myself, like I'm,
Yeah.
I'm sitting in the corner
It's
of my
like,
living
what's
room alone.
next? Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's up to me to find that next thing. And there's nobody that I can just like ask permission,
Yeah. Like,
right?
is this
Like
gonna work? Yeah.
there's nobody above me for me to like seek permission to try
Yeah.
something different or new or challenging. I have to take
Yeah.
ownership of that and find those new challenging opportunities on my own.
Yeah.
I sort of like chuckled a little bit when you mentioned a podcast this morning because literally like, and this always happens when I'm on a Zoom with you, like the energy, like there's something with energy, but like you're the third person that's brought up podcasts with me today. And it's been like in my heart to start a podcast. And like nobody's gonna give me permission.
Yeah.
Like I just have to do that, you
Yeah.
know?
Like, when's the best time? There isn't ever going to be the best time to do it, the right time to do it. It's more like, I'm
Yeah.
feeling this, I'm starting it. So like, what's the next best step here? Is it just like, okay, I need to get a microphone, maybe I need to learn what softwares are out there. So what's the next step there? But yeah, there's no one that's going to be able to like sit there and go, all right, Jane, it's time. Here's your permission slip to start your podcast. It's like,
And
do you have
here's your
time for it?
step-by-step roadmap, right? Like there is no step-by-step
Yeah.
roadmap. You get to decide what chances you want to take on yourself and what next steps to take. And I like what you said before, to lead with your highest form of
Form of
excitement. Is
excitement.
that what you said? I
Yeah.
love that.
If we did that all day, every day, do you know how great our lives would be?
Yeah.
Like if we were just like, well, I know some people have like day jobs and like, they can't, or they have children, they have other tiny people to take care of. But like, just think about it. If like you woke up every day being like, what do I want to do today? What would be really exciting in my life? How everyone's lives would be so different. How happy more people would be if they were just given that permission slip to do what they really wanted to do. And we as entrepreneurs, we kind of get to design our days and lives like that. I think that's why this is a very magical time right now in this virtual space where we get to do whatever we want.
Yeah.
And there, like I said, there's no really permission slip. It's kind of like, you can go wild, girl, like do whatever you want to do. Like if you want to start a
Yeah.
podcast, start a podcast. But yeah, like this is a beautiful time.
So what about all the roadblocks the like mental roadblocks
Yeah,
that
right.
get in everybody's way of just like living their highest form of excitement, right? And I'm not talking about like yeah, we all have, like a lot of us have young kids, some of us have day jobs, right? Like there are a lot of things, but what about like the more like excuse things, like
Oh yeah.
right? Like all the mental gymnastics that we go through to talk ourselves out of things that would be really great. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, the things I hear all the time are like I don't have time, or I don't have money, or right? Like all of these things that some are like a little bit true, but not completely true. right? Like sometimes we tell ourselves these things so that we don't end up like on the path of our highest form
Yeah.
of excitement. And then we end up stuck, both like mentally and personally, professionally, all of those things. How do you get past all of that?
Well, for
I
my
know it's a
own
loaded
it's
question.
a really low, yeah. Well, this is the thing. I just from my own personal experience, when I sit there and go, okay, I feel really stuck right now. Like I feel blah or whatever that, I always just ask myself, what do I need right now? So there's usually something that internally you're lacking. So why I'm not taking action on, say, like writing a post or creating the program or getting that certification, whatever that is, like what's really stopping me right now? But like, what do I need? So maybe it's usually a personal problem that's showing up as this business problem. Okay. So like maybe it's you and your husband need to have a really good chat. Maybe he's not super supportive of this certification or whatever it is that you're trying to do, starting this course. So, okay, hey, I need you to be more supportive. We need to talk this out because I'm not taking this next step because you're not necessarily giving me the permission that I need to do this. And a lot of women, they seek outside permission to follow their dreams. And that's the big number one no, right? Your society, your community, whoever, your local, like this little area, this little bubble that we live in, like we're waiting for permission and we cannot wait for permission to do things. So when I say your personal problems are showing up as business problems, that's 100% true. You have lack of boundaries. So that's why you don't have time. You don't ask for help. Like there's a lot of things that you could do to make time for yourself and for your business and for all the things. So when people say, I don't have time for self-care, I'm like, well, maybe you just need a babysitter. Maybe you actually need to pay somebody to come over for 4 hours so you can go get your nails done and go to the gym or whatever the things that you want to do that would really help you just relax, right? I'm a big firm believer in relaxing into entrepreneurship. Like I schedule in time to do the things that I actually really enjoy doing in addition to my business. Like whatever it is that like if I had, the post, the course, whatever, like I get those things will get done. If I want them, get them done. If I don't get a post up today, I don't get a post up today. You know what I mean? It's like we put way too much pressure on ourselves to have like this perfect business or this perfect life when really society is the one that's telling us that we need to have all these things in place in order for us to be able to do all these things that we need to do. When it's just not the case at all. What do you want to do? What would light you up right now? What would be your highest form of excitement, right? So if it's starting the business, great. Whenever we're excited to do something, we do it. When we're not excited to do things, we don't do it, right? So what's really stopping you from being excited about this? What is that excuse, right? Is it that you need permission from somebody else? Is it that you need to ask somebody else for money? Do you need to ask for help for something? Like, what is it? So get down to the core root of why you're saying no to your dream life. What is it? Why are you saying no today?
Yeah. So good. Everything you're saying reminds me of when I first wanted to launch Center for Pediatric Sleep Management. And at the time, I was actually fairly new to the industry. I hadn't been in this business for 15 years when I started my course. Okay. Like I got the course off the ground pretty quick in my career. And I was having a conversation with my parents and my brother about it. And my brother was like, why would anybody take your course? Like,
Yeah.
that's what he said to
They
me.
don't get
He's like,
it. Yeah.
he's like, why would anybody take your course? Like, there's so many options out there. There's so many like
Yeah.
established programs. Why would anybody choose yours? And like, that could have been a really major
Yeah.
roadblock. Like,
Mhm.
if I had listened to him, if
Mhm.
if his if his words had any
Yeah.
weight with me, which his words in life do have weight with me. I do respect him and trust him and I admire him and he's a really smart guy. So if I had listened to him, I wouldn't have the very successful business that I have right now.
Yeah.
And I needed to do some mental gymnastics to push what he said aside
Yeah.
and do what was exciting to me, which was to create this
Yeah.
program,
Yeah.
right? And I needed to put his words somewhere far away. And I needed to listen to people that were cheering me on and that were excited for me, which was, my husband and my parents and,
Mhm.
friends. And I had
Yeah.
to just all the people that were doubting me, I needed to like get rid of that.
Yeah.
And I needed to focus on the people that were cheering me on. And that's what I still do.
Yeah.
I surround myself with people that believe in me. And and that's what I try to do for my students in the
Mhm.
program is like I try to be the cheerleader for them. I always say to people they're interested in enrolling in my program, like, I 100% believe that you can do this.
Yeah.
That is not
Yeah.
BS. Like, I 100% believe that you are capable of being successful, and that's not lip service.
Mhm.
You need to also decide that that is true.
Yeah.
And when you decide that is true, is when it becomes true. That is like the
Yeah.
first step towards your
Mhm.
success, is believing that you
Yeah.
are capable of whatever you have set out to do.
Mhm.
And for
Mhm.
people who never make that change in their brains, and they
Mhm.
never commit to realizing that they're capable, they constantly just sort of like stay stuck, as you
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, it's the one foot in front of the other, right? And as you said, it's never failure until you give up. It's just like a
Yeah.
part of the journey.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, this is the thing. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to screw up. I mean, that's a
All the
part of
time.
business all the time. We have to accept that, right? We have to just accept that I'm going to be learning as I go. I don't have to learn everything first, then start taking action. I'm going to learn as I go. Everyone starts as a beginner in everything, right? So I think we just have to give us that permission and just give us that grace at the beginning stages of our business to screw up and to make those mistakes. But like, if you could stay consistent for, like I said, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, imagine what your life's going to be like. Stop looking at like the right now. Like, it's nice to be in the present moment, don't get me wrong, but like, look at what your life could be like in 5 years from now if you really stayed consistent with this. Like 5 years, like your whole life can change in a year, realistically, if you really decided and committed and was really disciplined to make it work for yourself. But so many people wake up and they have this trigger that goes off that's saying, you're not good enough. Like, you're not going to be able to do that. Like, and it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I got to talk to these little triggers. I want to have another activator, something else that's going to trigger me. And that one's different. And that one's like, girl, you got this. You are meant for this. This is your destiny. We are so afraid of our destiny, by the way. We're afraid to be successful. What if I'm successful? It's not always what if I fail. What if I actually make this happen? Like, what's
Somebody
going to
tells
happen
that
with my life?
somebody who I am very close with in the
Yeah.
business world says that to me all the
Yeah.
time, and I have trouble like processing that.
Yeah.
Because like, what is that? I like, it must be right because you say it and she says it, and I
Yeah.
respect both of you and think the world of both of you. But like, what does that even mean, that
Yeah.
we're so afraid of failure? What does that really truly look like? Are we really sabotaging ourselves
Mhm.
because we're afraid of, why would we be afraid of success?
Right. All right. Well, so if you become successful, you have more money. Maybe you already have a belief that you really suck at managing your money. So I'm just going to blow it anyway. Why would I? Or, oh my God, I'm going to have to hire employees. I don't know how to hire employees. I don't know what to do with it.
Okay.
What
Yeah,
if
I identify
I
with
have to have
that because
human
that's,
resources? What, I don't
yeah,
want people to sue me because I said something wrong.
yeah.
Right? Like, we
You're
have all
right.
these
That
things
I
like,
identify with that because
what
that's where
if,
I am right now. It's like,
right?
I'm like too busy. I need a person, but like, I'm not busy enough I'm not successful enough to have a person. That's exactly right. You nailed
Yeah.
it.
So the
Yeah.
more success, oh, that's even the haters, right? If I have more followers, there's gonna be more people that are gonna comment on my post saying that sleep training or what, it's like, that's not, I don't want to deal with the haters. It's like, you're gonna have haters no matter what. Like, people are, if you have 500 followers or 5,000 followers or 500,000, you're gonna have people that aren't gonna like you. Like, you cannot get over that. It's just not something that you can avoid. So there's just things like that. It's like, the more successful you are, the more you're going to get triggered, the more that you're going to have to do some of the inner work.
Yeah.
And a lot of
It
people
also
aren't willing
starts
to do
to,
that.
it starts to feel at a certain point that like, it's hard to grow at the same pace that you have. Like when you've had really solid growth for a few years, at a certain point, it feels like it's got a plateau, right? And and maybe that's okay, but it's a really hard thing to come up at. Like I'm facing that right now. Like maybe this year, maybe 2022 is going to be the same as 2021, which would be
Is that a bad thing?
fabulous. Like
Yeah.
no, but it
Yeah.
feels like, am I failing by not growing? Like, and these are all things
What's the
that
belief that you have? Yeah.
get in the
Yeah.
way. They get in the way of growth. They get in the way of your success, and or maybe even just like cloud your idea of what success is, right? Because for me, and I always go back to my why whenever I get into like a negative headspace about growth or like fear of failure, all that stuff. I always go back to my why, which like my why for starting my business was that I was a bored stay-at-home mom and I needed something to exercise my brain. That
Mhm.
muscle in my head was atrophied and needed to be exercised. And so I started a business so that I would have something to exercise my brain and feel passionate about, and something to keep me busy outside of like packing my kids' lunches and dressing them cute for school. So when I look back when I think about where I am now and like, am I still growing? Or like, I always go back when I'm struggling, I go back to my why. My
Mm.
why had nothing to do with like huge financial success or huge business success. It had nothing to do with that. It was
Yeah.
just that I was lacking passion in like a adult thoughts kind of way,
Yeah.
you know?
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
go back to my why and I realize, okay, even if my business doesn't grow financially in
Mm.
2022, I'm still like living my why,
Yeah.
right? And
Well, what
that's good enough. That's great.
it's like, what has your business already allowed you to do? Right. So it's like, oh, I didn't hit this dollar amount that I was supposed to make this year or something. Right. But I'm like, but like, I was able to stay at home with my kids. My husband's a stay-at-home dad. Like, I'm able to go on vacations whenever I want. Like, there's still like all these great things. I'm like, why am I complaining that I didn't hit this certain dollar amount? I'm still able to do everything that I would do if I had that in my bank account. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so realistically, it's like I always ask myself, like, if I didn't, like, every month, it's like I didn't hit the goal or something. It's like, but what has my business already allowed me to do this month? What are some of the highlights? What are some of the big wins? So yeah, like it's not always about the money. It's like,
No.
what is my life like? Am I able to chill? Am I able to relax? Am I still be able to do the things I want to do? And
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
the answer
So
is yes, right? Like you're doing all the things that you want to do. And frankly, so am I. Like, I think I went on vacation 3 times in December, and we're like, how cool is that? Like, we definitely were not doing that a couple of years ago.
yeah,
And yeah, I get to go on vacations. I get to spend money on my kids without
even thinking
worrying
about
about
yeah.
it the way that I used to.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. It's just like you have to think about, am I positioning myself to be able to live the life that I want
Mm,
to be living? And if the answer is yes, then like you're doing it
mm,
right, right? Like
yeah,
that's got to be good enough.
yeah. And overall too, like once you've already made some money in your business, like you know how to continue to make money in your business. So it's like, oh, I spent all my money on vacation this month, ooh, like or something. And it's like, oh my God. And then you have that like fear come up. Well, what if I can't make the money next month? Right. Entrepreneurship, like we're not guaranteed
Yeah.
anything. You know what I mean? Like, but when you know you have a strategy, you know how to make money, you're going to be fine. You're going to have some trust inside of yourself to know that you're going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. Like, I
Everything's
promise
going
you
to be fine.
that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I love that. Let's end
Yeah.
there.
Sure.
Before we wrap up, tell
Yeah.
everybody about how you can help them if
Yeah,
they want
sure.
to work with you directly.
Yeah. Yeah. I've already worked with some of your students. I absolutely love working with sleep consultants. So I have a program. It's called Social Media Sales Blueprint. I actually, if you're watching this now, I have enrollment is open for my next round, which starts at the end of this month. I do this every other month. I have like enrollment that's open, but specifically, I help you learn how to find your clients and then also how to actually sell to them all through using your Instagram and Facebook platforms. So if you are somebody right now who's like, I want to start a business, obviously talk to Jane too. But if you're like, I just really, really want to know how to utilize social media to get more leads, to really understand how to just sell without having that like blah salesy feeling. I want to make it super realistic and seamless for you. So that's my biggest goal, especially this year. I just want to teach people how to sell without feeling that scared feeling. You know what I mean? I'm like, I want you to love it.
Enjoy it.
Yeah,
Yeah, enjoy
I
it.
want you to, we naturally just don't like things we're not good at. So I want you to teach you how to do it. I actually help you move conversations along and get people on calls. That's like where my zone of genius is. I just want you to know how to communicate with human beings, and get you over that fear of people, get you out of that comfort zone and expand that. And yeah. So, and I also send you, if people want to join, the morning business motivation. Here, I'll put this link. I don't know if you can copy and paste this into the chat, but
Yeah,
if you
I'll put
want
it
to
into
join
the
that, so you get some emails from me every few mornings. And yeah, like obviously your mindset is a part of this too, right? So that's also part of my program, and just stuff that I really strive towards myself is just being my best being the best business owner I can be, being the best mom I can be, being the best wife. And I'm constantly just learning more about myself and what I want to do in this world. And so, yeah.
And we keep putting one foot in front of the other, right?
Yeah. Constantly climbing a mountain, and I'm okay with that.
Perfect. Well, thank you as always for coming in to inspire, motivate, cheerlead my audience. I love chatting with you. I always feel like a breath of fresh air after we chat. Feel like I could fly. I will make sure to leave all of your stuff in the comments on this Facebook Live. And I see we have a few people that were like, yes, like cheering us on. I don't see any questions, but if anybody has any questions for me or for Allison, leave them in the comments and we will be sure to address them. Allison, thank you again, and I will see you soon.
All right, bye everyone.
Bye-bye.